This year I've been working on a really cool content series with our friends over at RYOBI Africa. It started about 5 years ago actually. We started telling really cool sports stories with them. So people who basically have a won't quit attitude to match the power tools that won't quit. It started out with Kirsten Landman. She was the first female African enduro rider to finish the Dakar Rally. We then told the story of Makazole Mapimpi in the Eastern Cape. And then from there we created the formal Wont Quit Crew, as it were. So basically to find up and coming South African sports stories of people who are just determined to get to their goals despite all kinds of challenges. That started out as a mentor program where we took 3 very well-known South African personalities and we paired them with up-and-coming sports stars to kind of give them mentorship and guidance towards their goals. From there, it went into a 6-part series where we told very unique, sort of unknown sporting stories of where they're going. And now in 2024, I get to tell the story of the Connect Rugby Academy. Now, the Connect Rugby Academy was started by Murray Ingram back in 2014. So I met Murray originally 8 years ago, and I was chatting to him about this, and I always thought, like, this would be a really cool story to tell. So 2024 is the year where I get to do that for the RYOBI Wont Quit Crew. And basically it's going to be a 9-part series where I get to understand how this all came about, what the Connect Academy does for kids, where the kids have progressed to. So in doing so, I'm interviewing people from school backgrounds, rugby club backgrounds, all of Murray's network, the sort of different sort of schools that Murray is now involved with, the young teams that he coaches or influences around development and growth. So it's giving me an incredible broad snapshot of rugby in the Western Cape, and of course the importance of great grassroots development and structure. So that is this year's project. I'm really excited to share it with you, and this will be the first episode that you're watching right now. If you go to wontquitcrew.co.za, you'll be able to get every new episode as it comes out each month, and of course to follow RYOBI Africa on the social media channels to see all kinds of updates around this really cool campaign. It's a really big story, to be honest with you, probably a little bit bigger than I thought it would be, but I'm really enjoying getting through this, and I hope you enjoy as much watching these episodes as they come out.
Life for a kid in Khayelitsha is in some ways otherworldly. For a lot of the kids in our program, your everyday existence is a shack, is a single parent household, is a life fraught with violence, with insecurity, with hunger, with threat being a thing that's in your peripheral vision constantly. I think most South Africans know how difficult everyday township life is. But I think what most people don't ever really fully understand is how encapsulating township life is and how difficult it is for a youth growing up in a place like Khayelitsha to get out of it. I'm Murray Ingram, and I'm the founder, head coach at the Connect Academy, as well as now the Connect Performance Center and recently Connect NTK. This is me, yeah, for now, yeah. When I left school, my father got cancer in my matric year, and ended up passing away in April of the year that I finished school. And then I got a little bit lost between 18 and 21. Sport was always a big passion of mine, and I started, my older brother at the time was a PE teacher actually at a school in Durban, and said to me, "Oh, come and coach." So I started coaching, not because I wanted to, but because I wanted to make some pocket money. And just coached a bit, and then did a personal training course. And I went to England for a year, came back to South Africa, came to Cape Town, and I actually started working in what used to be the Health and Racket, Virgin Active now, in Greenpoint. And then I went back to England, and that's where it really changed, where I started realizing that I could make this a career. I met some guys who were doing functional fitness, which at the time nobody even really knew about. That then led to me actually doing some studies and working with them and for about 3 or 4 years, and then realizing like we built up a little business together, and then I started wanting to come home, and I came back to Cape Town and I opened up a gym, and then my practice built up for quite a long time, and I think I was in my late 20s, and then I got bored. When I say bored, I was just working with a lot of really privileged people, and I just had this kind of want to do more. And then I met a guy, his name's Sibusiso Momoti. I started going to Khayelitsha with him, and really just informally. He didn't have an organization, I didn't either, but you know, at that stage I had this thing of wanting to help, but I didn't really know where. And one thing led to another. We had trial and error with a lot of pilot projects, if we call that. And so I helped these guys start a coffee business in Khayelitsha. And that was really a big turning point for us, because they started this thing called Department of Coffee. It got a lot of traction. They got a lot of publicity. It worked well for a year or two. It gave shape to what we were doing. We formed our own organization, Connect Community Development. And then the guys kind of bombed out for a number of reasons, but really one of the prevailing reasons was they got this kind of instantaneous success, but there was no real grounding to it. And it was a big learning curve for me, because I realized like the intervention with these guys almost came too late. And then suddenly I met another guy through Sbu, who was a guy called Ginger Mapasa, or Ayanda Ginger Mapasa, who sadly passed away last year. And Ginger also was a big influence on me, because he ran something called the Khayelitsha Boxing Academy. And when he found out what my background was, he was like, no, this coffee thing's one thing, but you're going to help with the boxing. And I was a bit resistant in the beginning, and then started working with these boxers, and I realized, no, this is great, love it. Then we started formalizing this idea about after-school intervention. And that was kind of the beginning of Connect Academy. I started a rugby program in a couple of schools there. The kids knew nothing. You know, I trained them for about 5 or 6 weeks. None of them could really speak English. My Xhosa was really poor. And, you know, I learned a lot about coaching very fast then. And then we played this little tournament, and this kid, his name's Elita, but everyone in Connect calls him Mister. He just stepped everybody, and it was that natural talent, and like it was just, the light went on. Like, this is something to throw my weight behind. And that was the beginning.